Okay, I never imagined this would be my first YouTube video ever, and it's actually, I think, probably my fourth attempt trying to make it because I keep making like little mistakes each time. But my name's Mason, and I, prior to about a week and a half ago, was dating someone for 3 months that was living a double life. So if I don't put a little like split here or like a little break, grab like a snack, grab a drink, because it's gonna be a long one and you're probably gonna want to drink after it. So, I guess I'll start from the beginning. So I'm not gonna use real names because I feel like this is like very Tana Mongeau-esque where she's like exposing people and it's like, oh, like for legal reasons. So we're gonna call the guy that I was seeing G, and we're gonna call his ex-boyfriend F. So I've known G for, I want to say, almost about 2 years. We were friends pretty much the majority of that time. And up until about May of this year, like towards the end of May, um, I like got out of a relationship and he broke up with his boyfriend. So we started hanging out again, mostly just as friends. And so I think the first day we hung out, we like went out for drinks. And I just turned 21 in December and I've really never gone out to like bars or whatnot. So that was really kind of like my first excursion to going to bars. Um, but like later in the night, we ended up going to like this like park and just like talking. And his ex that he just had broken up with, at least that's what I was told, drove over an hour and a half to track us down because he had his location. So here I am thinking this man is crazy because the second he's like talking to G, he's like screaming at him, whatever. And I'm just like standing there. Like, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Um, I'm also going to say a lot just because like I'm like trying to like process what I want to say next. So I apologize in advance. And yeah, I'm like, this man's crazy. And I think the first week that we really were like hanging out, he was telling me all this stuff. He was like, oh yeah, like he's crazy. Like this is G talking about F. Like I offered to pay for him to go to therapy. He said no. I told him we could do like couples therapy together. He said no. Um, so I'm thinking like, you really dodged a bullet because this man is psychotic. Until like what I found out within this past week or so. And I want to say it wasn't until week two when like things started like picking up, where I was leaning in more of like a dating direction. And so we started really kind of more so dating than just being friends. And I think I was fine with it moving as quickly as it was because I already knew him for a year and a half prior, or almost 2 years. And yeah, so things picked up. We took a few trips together, at least over the summer. So we went to Texas and did like a road trip up around Oklahoma, which I've never really traveled beyond the East Coast. So, and I've also never been on a plane. So I had to fly into Dallas, and then we took a trip up and around, kind of did like a big circle. And it was really fun. Like I had a really good time. And then we did, after that, a Cubs game in New York where we stayed overnight in Times Square. And at least the hotel that we got, it was like on like the 60, like fifth floor or something. Like I know it was like one below the top. Um, and the tickets that he bought were like literally front row, and I know nothing about baseball, so I was like just kind of enjoying the moment with him. And then I want to say we stayed overnight in Boston once, so we took a day trip the other time. Um, and then at least I saw him before all of this happened about a week and a half ago on Monday, because we stayed overnight because I work in a casino, so we stayed overnight where I work because they have a hotel. And everything like seemed fine. Like that night we were planning trips for over winter break. Um, I was, we were supposed to go to North Carolina so I could like meet his mom because she came to Connecticut at the beginning of August and I never got to meet her because he just blew it off and I guess didn't want me to do it. Um, but like I never really expected anything until this past week. And like my parents loved him. Like he was over here multiple times a week for like months. There was one stretch I just looked through my text with my bestie to like find the exact dates. He was here from my house one time from the 16th through the 20th or 21st of July. So I think that was that might have been the same week we did the Cubs game, or it might have been like right before. Um So like it was in in a dating direction, and I invited him as a plus one to a wedding that my manager invited us to because it was her friend's wedding. So we were gonna know nobody there, and so I invited him as my plus one, and the night seemed like fine. Like he literally was calling me his boyfriend the entire night. When I asked him about it the next day, he's like, "Oh yeah, I just thought like that term like made sense." So I'm like, okay, so this is dating, at least to me. And also the fact that like every time that we like went somewhere, like bar, restaurant, any sort of excursion or like little trip, he pretty much paid for everything. Like I want to say like 85% of everything, and I would just pay for like small stuff. But yeah, so like after the wedding, it kind of seemed like everything started going downhill, and I really should have noticed things earlier. Like the day of the wedding, he like right when it started, he was taking a call, and I figured it was his mom. And so like when he came back inside, I asked him, I was like, oh, like I was talking to your mom, whatever. And then he was like, oh yeah, it's good. She's just like updating her or whatnot, telling her how the wedding is, whatever. And I think during that whole 3 months, we only really got in like one argument. It was because I saw that he was texting F, and because I only saw that because we were having drinks with my brother, and we were playing music, and I was going to like look through the music, whatever, and I saw a text that said I love you. So I'm like looking, I'm like, I already know who this is. It's F. And so we got in an argument about that. He wanted to leave, and I was like, no, you're not leaving because you're, intoxicated. So I locked all his stuff in our safe. And then in the morning, we had a talk. He's like, oh, yeah, like I don't mean it. Like I don't still love him. It's just like, I'm worried that he's going to like harm himself of some sort, which I completely understand. But I'm like, why would you keep saying that to him and lead him on when that's not really going to help the situation? And then he was like, oh, yeah, I'm worried he's going to like sue me or whatever. Which sue is a little far for a breakup. I thought that was a little weird. But that was really the only argument we like ever got into. And I never really felt the need to like look through his phone again after that, except I guess the night of the wedding I looked through it and I didn't remember. And then so the last time I saw him was probably it was towards the end of August, because now it's September 4th. And last week, Thursday, when I was in class, or even like when I woke up, I like looked at my Instagram. He unfollowed me for some reason. So I messaged him about it. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here? And I had posted a story of like, I was just like wearing a sweater that he gave me because I literally have a whole stack of his clothes sitting on my bed that I have no clue what to do with now. I'm like, do I burn them, sell them, like just get rid of them? Because I don't know what to do with them. I don't want to give that bad energy to somebody else and have them, have the same luck as me with them. But yeah, I literally have this whole stack of clothes from him. So I'm like, of course I'm going to wear them. He did never ask for them back. And that was like his reason for unfollowing me on Instagram. So I'm like, okay, weird. And then I get a text at 11 o'clock when my class started from F saying, so what have you been doing with my boyfriend for the past 3 months? I'm like, boyfriend? I've been dating him for the past 3 months, pretty much. And so I texted him that, and he's like asking me all these questions. He's like, no, we were never broken up, all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. And so I text G, I'm like, you're such a liar. And actually the text I sent was a lot worse than that. Like it had a lot more to it, but that's pretty much the gist of it without, being really vulgar. So G calls me right away. I don't answer, I'm in class. So I leave my class like 15 minutes early, try to call him like 3-4 times, no answer. And then I text I texted F. I'm like, can you tell him to answer his phone? Like, do you know where he is? And he's like, oh yeah, he's with me in person right now. Mind you, I told G, when we first started dating or whatnot, I was like, if you ever go back to him, or if I find you talking to other people, then I'm done with this. Because when I'm like with someone, I'm with them, that one person exclusively. I'm not trying to venture out because I want to see where something goes. And so, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the night that I spent, overnight with him on that Monday, he canceled on me for the 2 days prior, so Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday, he told me that he was with his best friend and his parents, and he wasn't gonna be able to make it. So we're gonna call his best friend A. And then Sunday, he canceled on me again because he was allegedly golfing with his uncle, and he was like 2 hours away and, was drunk and couldn't drive. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I'm mad because you canceled 2 days in a row. It's showing like you don't respect my time. And I even told him that he apologized, but like we hung out Monday, everything seemed fine. But back to the whole Thursday thing. So I'm on this call because F like told G to call me, and everything that's coming out of G's mouth was a lie. He was like, no, we've never been more than friends. We never did anything. Meanwhile, I'm like, no, we literally went on trips together. We were emotionally involved for 3 months. You stayed at my house. You've met my parents dozens of times at this point. And so everything coming out of his mouth is a lie. So he hung up on me because I'm guessing F got so mad that he, from what he told me, because I actually had a talk with him, which I'll get to, broke a bunch of plates. And honestly, if he threw them at him, I wouldn't be shocked and I wouldn't be opposed to it, because I don't get how, like, I still can't comprehend the whole situation. But anyways, after that whole thing, I got a little drastic, because at least for me, like, I've never really gotten mad before when something like this has happened, because I've never really had much luck with like relationships. Um and it's usually not my fault. Like, I'm never perfect, of course, but I always try to like give my all to someone, and then it's never really reciprocated. In this case, I felt like it was reciprocated up until the point where I found out everything that I'm sharing now. Um, but yeah, and then I texted F. I was like, if you want to get together at some point this week and actually talk more, since he's not answering me now. He completely like just cut me off. Um, I texted him that. I'm like, if you want to do that, I'm down for that, because at least Thursday, later in the day, I posted the initial text messages from F, like the whole like, what have you been doing with my boyfriend for the past 3 months? I tagged G, and I literally posted G's mugshot. So that was a first for me. I completely forgot that he had one until my bestie sent it to me and was like, you need to post this. So I did. And then comes to find out, G actually didn't block me on Insta. He just completely deleted his whole Instagram. Um, so I was like, that's interesting. But anyways, like, fast forward to Sunday when I went to go get coffee with F. Um, it was so awkward at first. Because neither of us were talking, and I was like, okay, where do you want to start? Because I want to find out more, and I know he wanted to find out more. So I was telling him everything about the trips, him meeting my parents, him coming over here all the time, how I was supposed to meet his mom. Um, and it seemed like, from what F had told me, they will literally be together for a week, break up, get back together, on and off, on and off, on and off. And mind you, they've known each other for about the same time that I've known G. They dated for and I guess I don't know if they're still dating, but for about like a year. So yeah, I found out that F has also never met his mom. He gave him the same excuse. He's like, oh, like, I don't know if she's gonna be rude, whatnot, whatever. And I guess G gave F the same excuse of why they couldn't be in a like almost like public relationship where people like knew about it. And that was because he didn't know if he was staying in Connecticut, which he told me the same thing. So I'm like, it seems like everything that you did to me is like a carbon copy that you did with F. And not to mention, I want to say it was probably like end of June, July. He was looking at houses, and he was like showing me pictures, because his lease was about to be up, which I'll get to. But he was like showing me pictures of houses that he wanted to like buy or whatever, and one of them is 20 minutes from me. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, this is like cool, like, he'll be closer or whatnot, because he lived about an hour away. And when I thought he was going on these house tours alone, he was actually bringing F with him. So that was news to me. And then, not to mention, he has the same car as me. So I have a Volvo XC60. It has these memory seat buttons right here, or right here. And so I like drove his car quite a few times. And so I set like my memory seat setting, because I thought I was the only person like driving the car, and he told me to set it. So his mom came and visited. She like put it to whatever setting she had, because she was driving it for, I want to say, like 4 or 5 days. And after that, I like reset it to mine. And then I drove the car again. And I go to press like the button for my seat. And this was way after his mom left. And it wasn't my setting. It was like completely off from what I had it to. So I asked him, he's like, oh yeah, my mom must have like set it again before she left. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because I drove this car one other time before this. And at least come to find out, because I looked on F's TikTok, they celebrated their anniversary after that whole like span of him staying at my house for 4 or 5 days. Which is insane, because to me, I was told they were broken up. G had no plans of ever getting back together with him. Like, it was never going to work out. And yeah, and then I also found out the reason my seat setting got changed is because F was driving the car. So I wasn't the only one, driving this thing. So, like, it's just unbelievable that everything that just came out of his mouth was just a complete lie. And I almost, like, it makes me feel bad for F, because I think he's been so emotionally manipulated over the past 2 years that he thinks that G cheating on him, dating other people. He thinks that's normal and he thinks that's like all he deserves. I'm glad at least like I've been through so much with guys before that I'm cut off. I don't want to ever see him again. Um because like he doesn't respect anybody. And he really only just cares about himself. He's literally the definition of a narcissist. And I think I literally told him even Sunday, I was like, he may give you financial stability, but he's never going to give you any sort of emotional stability whatsoever. And you're always going to be worried if he's cheating, because he did cheat on him once with someone that tried to get with me my freshman year of college. And I told that guy absolutely not, because I'm not that type of person. I wasn't at the time. And he still got back with him after that. So even after our little talk where he said that, oh, like, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but like when he gets home, he's quote unquote like done for. I literally still think he's going to stay with him, because he's just like so in depth with the lies that he tells 24/7. That I think he like almost like can't escape it. And I'm not trying to like psychoanalyze him whatsoever. This is just my take on it. And, like I'm glad that at least I don't have to deal with that anymore, because I think if F had never gone through his phone the Saturday that he like ditched hanging out with me, this could have gone on for a lot longer. And if he ended up buying a house or something, or even staying in Connecticut, like I said we were planning trips for when I'm on winter break in January, and in January he's supposed to go on a trip with F and his grandparents to Florida, I believe. So I'm like, you're literally living a double life. And I think for someone my age, it's so unheard of, because you only hear about this with like in like movies or books. Like it just doesn't seem real. Like I'm only 21, so I would never expect something like this to happen to me. Like I've heard of like cheating around my age and everything, but never a situation where someone is balancing two people at one time, a full-time job, and like just completely living a double life. Yeah, so I think it's crazy to me. And honestly, it's like so emotionally and mentally draining dealing with this whole situation. And like I feel like I'm like, it's like an emotional roller coaster for me, because I was mad at the start. I ended up crying on Saturday, which I regret, because on Sunday I found out so much more stuff. um but yeah, I think I wish I could mention like G's actual name. Like there's some people that know it just because like I've told friends about it. um but it's crazy to me. Like I can't fathom how you would want to destroy two people emotionally, and then you're like I don't think he's really forcing like F to be with him, but I think he's manipulated him so much that it's almost like makes it seem like he can't like be without him, you know? Um but yeah, I think like I hope this video is like entertaining to people, or like serves as a warning. Definitely the next person I get with, I am doing a full FBI investigation, because I can't believe like this whole thing. Oh, and also one thing I forgot to mention, every time that G was hanging out with me, he told F that he was hanging out with his best friend, who we're gonna call A. I don't know if I already mentioned that. So even when I went to the Cubs game with him in New York, he said he was with A. When we went to the wedding, he said it was A's friend's wedding. And I'm like, I can't believe like all of that just transpired underneath me, and I trusted him. Like I never like had a reason to not, because I knew him for almost 2 years now. And the worst part is like I'm never going to get an apology from him, because he's such a manipulative narcissist. And the only apology I got was from F, and he shouldn't have to apologize to me, because it's not his fault. Like he didn't know any of this was going on, and he wasn't the one doing all this. So I'm like, I can't comprehend. And then, oh, honestly, I'm so glad stuff keeps popping up. So, G's lease on his apartment was coming up. So he got a new apartment, and, it wasn't that far from his other place, but I guess, like, I never knew where F lived, and the apartment is in the same town. So when he moved in, he, like, showed me a tour of the place or whatever, like, on his phone, like, pictures, whatnot. And, I like told him, because he drove here so much, I was like, well, if you want me to like drive up to you, because you're always driving over an hour here multiple times a week, like I'll do it. And his excuse was, oh, like I don't know, like I want to be fully moved in, the place is a mess. And actually that was a lie, because I guess the reason he never had me over is because F was there on and off for the past 3 or probably almost 4 weeks now. So I still don't, like, I literally hope, like, this serves as a warning, like I said, like, for anyone my age, especially, like, at least, like, I don't even know. It's, like, unfathomable to me that someone can just, like, do that to somebody, or actually two people, and just like, I don't really know. But yeah, I hope this served as some sort of entertainment, even though it is a little unfortunate for me. But yeah, I guess I will end this video here. So bye, y'all.